Hello and welcome to Base Invaders EU, hosted by Rustoria Servers and sponsored by Rustipot. Today's tournament is going to be a three-man tournament, so expect a lot of action coming through your way today. My name is TW, and I'm going to be casting alongside for his debut with Purpluu. And hello, Purpluu. How are you doing today,
Hello.
man?
I'm doing fine. What about you? And what about you, chat? How is your day going, chat? Are you hyped for this event where it's gonna be a 3v3, pure chaos, PvP and raids everywhere?
Yeah, it's gonna be pure chaos today with just three players on each team. It's gonna create for some very interesting situations where every single life is gonna be instead of when you have three people, it's gonna be so hard to get back into fights whenever
Yeah.
someone dies.
And the thing is, we have 50 teams today, which is gonna be like base after base everywhere, like you can see on the map. The only problem is roof camping, but most of the time it is gonna be PvP on ground and like raiding.
Yeah, exactly, and you see a lot of teams here grouped out together, so we're gonna see a lot of action between those teams. Perhaps some of them taking the roof of others in the beginning of this attack phase and then just keeping that control over it. I've seen that happen a lot in those bigger 6v6 events. I wonder if that's a strategy in the 3v3 too, or if people more or less just go for the points on those hard points on where they can just farm points the entire time, and throughout time you can easily find yourself on the top of the leaderboard whenever the raiding phase starts.
Yeah, I mean the problem with the hard point on like a smaller teams, like under 5, 6, is that there are like too many angles to hold, and when you're three people, it is just impossible to hold them. So that means that people are gonna be pushing all the time. You won't be able to like hold it, and it's gonna be like more than one team just in the hard point. Unlike the big events, where like it's like only one team holding most of the time.
Yeah, exactly. I can definitely see that coming through because whenever a big team is just able to hold a hard point like that, it doesn't matter if one or two of them dies. They can easily spawn back and just come back into the fight while the rest of the team holds it. In those 3v3 situations, or even 3v3v3 with several teams fighting together, whenever one or two of your team die, it's just going to be so hard to come back into the fight for that team. They might as well just get stumbled by the rest of them. And here we do see Team OMG kind of deserted from every single team. They have their own little area and they've taken down the heli in this area. So them being able to get those points on the scoreboard, if no one really contests them, should be really big stuff coming through for OMG.
Yeah, I mean, if another team comes with a mini to try to yoink these 12 points from them, it should be free for them. Like they're like too far away from everyone. And yeah,
Yeah, exactly. I only see one team in the horizon there. I think that's the Brew squad. Vigo Bro is starting to enter near. So we're probably gonna see a little bit of a fight, but I don't think it's really gonna be much. They're really gonna be much trouble for OMG because OMG can literally just spawn back within seconds into their own base, and they have multiple lives in order to try to defend that helicopter from other teams trying to get in there.
true. And we can see that the heavy is kind of next to power plant, so it's gonna be impossible to wall off pushing it. And then they just gonna need to hold one angle, and they're gonna have the free heavy.
Yeah, indeed. I'm wondering. I mean, I'm wondering if maybe a couple walls could be placed. I mean, it's right next to the base, so perhaps the TCs are covering it. I feel like it should be far away enough from the nuclear plant, because what's called because that base is already over there.
True.
They were able to build the base, so it should be outside of the range. But it doesn't really matter if no team is gonna contest it. It should be ONG's points no matter what.
I mean, normally on smaller teams, like most people just try to get as much as boom possible so they can keep raiding the raids going on raid phase. Because
That
like on
is
3 months on build phase, you are not able to farm a lot of rockets unless you don't do like base stuff, and yeah.
Exactly. That is definitely a good strat for those teams. Just to save up that boom, save up those weapons, the ammo, in order to really make that come to flourish in the raid phase. But now looking at the scoreboard, we already see Loop on top with 12 points. And we're going to get our way over to some action. We're going to get our way over to the hard point that is just being held by Poppy. As you said earlier on, not really many teams are going to be contesting those hard points. Perhaps Up is going to try it, or One Up if I'm not mistaken. They might just want to try to contest for it. A couple of players already getting their way over there, but they're being tagged. They've been spotted, and Poppy will be trying to defend it.
I mean, the way to push this right now would be just to like split, every guy splits in a different direction and hope for the best that you're not gonna get spotted. Or you can just beam the people in there.
Exactly, and one of them is already down. We see Maslexi going down from the Poppy side, One Up getting themselves closer, but I think one of them is knocked down to the ground too. So Stefan should be getting himself his feet back up right now, and he's getting himself healed. But Max Ellie on the other side gets himself back up to reloads that AK and gets some of those stims into him. So he gets himself back up to a decent amount of HP to really contest for a fight. One Up is getting himself closer, but Maxali picks up that kill. And that is massive coming through from that side for Bobby.
It seems like Poppy is gonna be holding this properly, unless another team comes and decides to join the fun.
Yeah, exactly. We see there's only a couple players, or yeah, all of these One Up players are already eliminated. Poppy actually getting that entire hard point for themselves.
And the thing is, like, if you're holding hard point on 3 months, like only you the whole attack phase, you're gonna have so many more points than the other teams because, like, the attack phase on smaller teams is like it is not focused on PvP, and people cannot get many points. And like on hard point, you get like 1 point every 1 minute, which is huge on smaller teams.
Yep.
You?
Oh, you get 2 points
Oh
every
wait, did they
30
change it?
seconds,
Oh my
actually.
bad, my bad. Yeah, okay.
That is
That is even bigger than yeah.
Yeah, that is even bigger than you thought. And thinking about that as well, getting those points from the kills, that can definitely be in contention as well, as we already see Poppy taking that top spot of first place with 19 points. They are being contested though. Bomba has been, or Dumpy actually, has been able to get a couple kills on the Poppy side. Max Ellie is coming back, and oh no, Nose is able to defend it from the intruders of One Up. As Stefan is going to get himself in closer from that left side.
Yeah, as we said, like the moment like second team came to the hard point, it is even harder to defend it right now. And there we see a third team coming too, which is Dumpy kind of whiffed on him, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway.
Yeah, unfortunately, he isn't able to hit those shots, and Stefan, he's inching his way closer bit by bit on Dumpy, as he now has to stand behind a wall or just one building in between Stefan and Dumpy is going to get killed from behind. Poppy defending their hard point to absolute extortion, as Maxelli is now going to get down. It's looking good for LRP, as those two players still manage to stay alive, still manage to keep their feet on the ground. Dumpy is entering back into the fight though, but I'm wondering, does he have a kit? Because it doesn't look like it. He's only on 54 HP, so that means that he hasn't healed himself back up after coming back to life. So he might just be searching for a weapon on the ground, goes all the way around, and now he's gonna just have to hope that he doesn't get spotted, bumped. Oh, that's actually his teammate. That's his teammate shooting a couple shots at him. Yeah, luckily for him, it doesn't hit him though. Luckily for him, his teammates' aim wasn't on point, and it seems like all of these Poppy players have already regrouped on each other, able to get themselves back into this, as Elap is there too with Bumper. This is just such a big action phase coming through on the hard point. Everything happening at once.
Yeah, which is normal Like the more events people play, the more they realize that actually holding hardpoint gets you so many points. And we see that they're trying to push each other, but there are like three teams. Oh, and one of Poppy is shooting one of Bomba right now, and Whoopie is sneaking on them. Oh, is he gonna get the kill? Who is gonna get the kill right now?
Dodges and weaves, and he just plays ring around the rosy with him. Now he manages to stay alive, gets that kill, and that makes sure that Poppy secure the hardpoint for themselves once again. Now he just knows how to play the game, and he's able to do it to absolute perfection. Clearing up the hardpoint for Poppy once again. There's only one Ella player left, and I do not know how to pronounce that name.
It could be Whoop or something like Whoop. I mean,
I don't know how to read Russian. I do you know?
his name. It means Mania. I don't know what it means. I can read it though.
Okay, so approved. So his name is approved.
Mania or something. It could be like Let Me Go or something like that. I'm not really that fluent on Russian, so I wouldn't know.
I'm trying to figure out what to call him then. Like what kind of
You can call me Mania.
Mania. All right, I'll call him Mania then. At least that's a good solution to what his name is. I'm really wondering, like what it really means, or what it exactly means.
And we have Morchgang on number 2 right now, which similar points with Poppy, which seems kinda good. I don't know what they're doing, but
Yeah, they must be getting some points somewhere around the map as we'll be getting over there in just a little bit. Let's see if we can find them, or actually here we find Purpluu. Finding with a lot of teams, so there's a lot of contention going on over here. A little bit quiet for the minute.
I mean, they most probably got like 2 crates for 10 points each, and that's what boosted them in top 2 right now.
Exactly, and we see the Stevie's team fighting out over here. Not really much action going on either. So we'll just be heading back to the hardpoint. This is where all the action is at. And meanwhile, while we have been gone, we see the team of Poppy. They've been exerted from the hardpoint. One Elab have been able to get rid of him, and Bomba is stepping into. Dumpy is gonna get down. It's only left onto the numbers. Stefan will flank his way around. I think the last player has now been spotted.
And we have a new challenger in the hardpoint, the team Baseman, which is trying to sneak on Bomba, it seems like, from behind.
Oh yeah, he might be able to get that kill if he's sneaky enough. He still hasn't been hurt, but he's gonna start running now. He's gonna start running his shoots, and he's able to get the down, able to get the kill. And that's gonna finish up the Bomber players. But now this last player, this Bazami player, is gonna be hunted by the entire Elab team. He now needs to try to stay alive for long enough for his teammates to get back in there. And I don't even know if the cavalry is arriving. He indeed is gonna get killed now too. It seems like Elab have taken the site, and the Steviest player is stepping into. He has a kit, but he's immediately gonna get killed by Toxical. Finally, a change in pace of this hardpoint. Elab able to take it for themselves for a little bit. But Bazami is stepping in too now.
It seems that team Machina maybe took Bradley, and they are getting contested by OMG right now.
Oh yeah, indeed, and they've taken down the tank, if I'm not mistaken. If they, I can't quite remember what its name is. Bradley, exactly. They've taken down Bradley, and they will be fighting for those crate points. Indeed, a lot of teams over here. OMG currently kind of in contention for this, really finding themselves in the best spot. Fraxen from Messina is still here. Morshgang is approaching now too. But of course, from a distance, Tudunk has spotted out those Morchgang players that will now have to get themselves in closer and closer to this team or to this last player. He's just hiding in between like a little rat in the vent, creeping his way around.
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't die, he could like run to the Broadway after it goes off and get the free. If he gets too crazy, that's like free 6 points. He's most probably waiting for that moment. But we can see that OMG they have a tight wish on the Broadway, so they need to be killed in order to contest the Broadway.
Yeah, indeed. But the flames should be disappearing pretty soon, so OMG, they might be able to take it. If those flames will be going down, it seems like time is starting to run out as these two players are now getting their way in. Mars is getting himself into the right position just in the nick of time, as Gangsheet is still covering it from the inside.
And we can say that the Broadway timer on fire is like longer than vanilla. So it is made it so it is possible for many people to counter instead of like doing a quick Broadway. And that means that OMG and have to hold the Broadway for longer than they should on vanilla servers.
Yeah, indeed, they have to hold it for longer than expected, as OMG still is able to defend it quite well, but there's only two players left on that team, and there's still the Rat of Machina just hiding in those vents. But two Doink, they're getting themselves in there. 666 now trying to get his way in there, but he's being hurt. The flames, they're burning him, and Gangsheet is able to eliminate those two players. The peak comes out, and the heads are being popped. That's going to leave 1-2 Doink player left. Mars is getting shot at. Mars is being eliminated, and that is such a quick elimination. 2 Doink, there's only one player left, and that player is down, if I'm not mistaken. OMG taking them down, keeping the Bradley for themselves.
It seems that 2 Doink did a quick open on the Bradley crate, which gave them 3 points. Unless it was a visual bug and it was still on fire, they should have gotten like extra 3 points before he died.
So at least a couple points being guaranteed for that 2 Doink team. That's not too bad to go off from what happened there. But OMG still should be able to take the most points as we see them rising up the ranks on the scoreboard on your top right side with 26 points now standing in 5th place. But as well, we're seeing Gelazing, they've been able to take that 1st place with still L up on the exact same amount of points, and if I'm not mistaken, L up should still be holding that hard point, and they should still be able to get those points. But there's a lot in contention now, and actually, Poppy have gotten themselves back into it. Bomber is in there now too, and just a couple of LR players on the edge fighting for that hard point.
We can see that Bomba and Whoop are the main people fighting in the hardpoint right now, with Poppy just waiting to see what's gonna happen. And it seems that they are trying to re-kit one of Poppy. Like he seems like totally naked with 57 HP.
Yeah, exactly. Indeed, I think he's just running back from a bag that he placed nearby without a kit. And Rito is going to be able to pick up that first one, and Stefan from the side able to take him down. 1UP is getting themselves back into it. It's a 2v2 now at the end. Naus gets found too, and it's all up to Anatoly as he now gets his way in closer. Look at the edge there. There's an SJK player getting himself back in closer, but the Poppy player from behind, Max Sandy, I'm wondering if he spotted W77. W77 now flanking his way around, searching for a weapon, but nothing is being presented to him.
It seems like the teams holding the hardpoint are doing good job of getting the weapons from the ground, which makes them not vulnerable against naked AKs, which gives them like bigger advantage in holding it. It seems that W77 got an AK right now.
Yeah, he's been able to pick up that AK. That Bomber player will now be getting down. He didn't find anything just in the nick of time, as W77 is going to stay alive, but those Bomber players and those 1UP players, they've heard him, and they will be closing in like sharks in the blood, smelling water. W77 now has to get his way out of there, and he just takes the weapon and runs. But there's a player on the edge. There's a player trying to find him. He spotted him out, and W77 doesn't survive. Toxical will take him down, and Toxical goes on a tear, finding Naus as well. That's going to be Elop getting the hard point back, guaranteed. Well done from that Elop team, getting the hard point on their sides again, able to get those points, and that, hopefully for them, they'll be able to get themselves back into first place now too.
It seems that Bomb entered the hardpoint, but all of them are fully naked without guns, which is like they wouldn't be able to do anything unless like Bomb or Loop missed a gun on the ground. But only by them being inside, they are rendering the team Loop from getting extra points. So they kind of need to hunt the naked if they want to get the extra 2 points every 30 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. They need to hunt the naked, and they need to pick up those AKs. They need to pick up those kids that are on the ground. Make sure that those nakeds don't become a threat to them, as they should now find themselves being able to take those hardpoint points. But Poppy is already here. Poppy is already getting themselves in closer, as those couple of hardpoint points is all Elop will be getting.
And we can see that the problem with hunting for nakeds is that 2 people should like leave their angles that they were holding from people pushing, and that makes it easier for other people to push the hard point.
Yeah, indeed. As we'll now be switching over to something else. Let's see if we can find some good action going on the map. Might take us a little bit, but I feel like we've already found something, as Team Bra is gonna fend themselves off against Turtles. There's only 8 minutes left in this attack phase, and we do see a helicopter over here. Turtles trying to take that down with Bra defending that from their base. Turtles will have to try to shoot it down in a favorable spot for them. As this could just it could just be turned right into the hands of Bro. They should be getting in closer. That heli is going down any second now. Should only take
Any second, any second.
Any second, and I think here we go. No, we don't just
And-
get. Not yet. But this is really where Turtles want to take it down as far as possible away from that Bro base. But it's now getting back in, and it's only a couple players shooting. Oh, but it gets destroyed right over the water. That is not a favorable place for those Turtle players. They'll now have to find those Bro players from all the way down in the sand. Baron getting himself in closer. Leonardo is behind the wall, and Leonardo will take down the first, able to at least alleviate some pressure for that Turtle team.
It seems like the Turtle team is gonna get a control of the helicopter, and if another team pushes from behind, because we can see that Bruce base is like in the corner. They cannot really like flank from anywhere. Like Turtle can like always have angle on them just pushing.
Yeah, exactly. But the only problem here for Turtles here is that they don't really have any bags in there, or they don't have any extra kits. If just a couple of them get killed, then they have to respawn. They have to get themselves back in here. They have to just hope for the best that they can pick up one of those kits off a dead body. It only takes a little bit for the tower to crumble down, as Bro will have to wait before they can really start taking down those Turtle players. But luckily for them, there's still a lot of time left before those crates are going to be able to be picked up, before those points will really be distributed across the board.
Yes.
Let's see if we can find something interesting going on around the map. See a little fight going over at the Galova base. Trigana is trying to get themselves in there, but there's only a couple players left, and I don't think there's much hope for those couple players. Roofcamp living up to his name, just doing his best to keep that honor in the name. I mean, what do you expect from a team that has
one of the biggest problems from like smaller teams? Like the roof camping is too much because like we said, there are like too many bases next to each other, and people just prefer roof camping instead of going down, which is a good thing on 3v3 because farming for kids on build phase is a little bit harder because you have only one guy on components normally.
Yeah, exactly. You just need one little roof camper to annoy you, and that could already mean that the cookie just starts to crumble. That teams just start having problems in those fights. As we're looking at this base, it seems pretty strong for a 3v3 base. It seems like a pretty strong 3v3 base. The only problem is really that the walls they're really open, and teams should be able to get in there quite easily once that race phase starts going on. And yeah, looking over here, looking at just over at this other base, this is just how you do it. No holes, just well designed. A tank of a base for 2 Tide, and I feel like they should be able to get themselves into those late game phases if they can really defend themselves from this other base of SK.
Yeah, I mean, the only problem with these full open roof bases is that if you don't have turrets on top, it is so easy to just water on top and hold your base. And we can see that they have turrets and which are kind of protected. And that means that like if people try to water on top in the middle of the raid, they're just gonna get shot by the turrets. And that's gonna be easier to defend.
Exactly, those turrets could be a real problem for teams trying to attack. And what hasn't seemed like a problem is Elop's dominance over the hardpoint. This is really going to be a team to watch out for in the raid phase. But of course, they have the base placed so closely, so near to the hardpoint that they should be able to get to dominate that spot all the way through, no matter what, and get themselves on the scoreboard. Once we really start heading into the raid phase, though, that base position might start to be a problem for them. Them having to fight the entire time, and perhaps losing a lot of kits, a lot of ammo, and a lot of utility to try to raid those bases and to try to defend their base. It might really come to bite them in the back in those later phases, but at least they've been able to farm up the points in the early phase of the game.
And we have one problem with building F to hardpoint. Like most of the people building there are like true PvP charts, you know what I mean? Like for raiding them is gonna be hard. And like if you decide to go raid another base far away from your base, you're just gonna get raided by them. Which makes it like constant loop of dying and trying to raid like good players.
Yeah, exactly. Those really good PvPers, they can just be a nuisance to some other teams, and this is an interesting base. I thought it wasn't loaded in for a second, but apparently this is the base that Nikita, or if I'm not mistaken, no, actually that SGK have decided to go up for. And well, I mean, I'm wondering why they picked this. It's probably not half. It's probably just half done, if I'm not mistaken.
Most probably they didn't have enough time to keep smelting the metal and keep building. And we see it seems that Nikita is like controlling their base. Maybe TC is open, maybe they have TC, or maybe not. We will never know. Unless our observer looks at it, and it seems that they have some doors placed, which is good, but they're already ready with the C4 to just get through it, you know? Like,
Exactly. And I think that Shorebro team should be able to pick up those points quite easily once that raid phase starts going in. Already a couple C4s, but it's just really the attack phase, so nothing much should be going on.
Damage normally.
Yeah, it shouldn't really be doing anything. So that C4 is apparently gonna blow up once the raid phase initiates. So him placing that early should be make sure that Shorebro team is quite comfortably able to raid this base. And that should be just a couple 3 points for a team that has already found themselves on 10th place with 29 points. So that is indeed gonna be a very easy done for them, as SGK will now be falling. What were they thinking with this base? What were they thinking not finishing this? Just having fallen asleep, as the attack phase will now be ending in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there we go. A couple points already on the scoreboard, and immediately the TC getting destroyed. And that's some points on the scoreboard for that Showbro team. And you will immediately be seeing them going into that second place with 69 points. And a lot of action now going on all throughout the map. A lot of raiding already starting. LP's bases under fire. Stevie's team is trying to get themselves in closer and closer, as they're already booming in. They found themselves a weak target, it seems like, and that weak target is being exploited.
It seems they are top-downing team LP, and which is like a good tactic on 3 months, as it is way easier to hold like angles, because like if you kill 2 and you destroy their base, it's gonna be only 1 guy holding the base, which makes it even easier to top down. The problem is most of the time the Tuku bot isn't in the main core, but in like a different spot like honeycomb. But top downing allows them to like destroy their base, which destroys their respawns, and it is way easier to raid the rest of the base.
Indeed, and they're getting in really quickly. Those LP players now have been spotted out, the doors opening up, and all of them getting killed. Stevious, they found themselves into the base. Now they just have to find the TC, as one of them actually gets stuck in there, and I'm wondering if the team damage is going to be killing him here. No, indeed, it is not going to be killing him. And they have found the TC. Stevie is able to pick up those points, and that should just propel them into a first place, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, actually a second place, as Stevie is with 77 points is just a little bit behind that first place on the scoreboard.
And we have Turtles here raiding Brew with C4, it seems like. It seems like Brew doesn't have many kids left in base, because they're like not trying to shoot but just running around.
Yeah, Turtles, they're just running around, doors opening up though. Ooh, and bro, they're getting shot at. Team Turtles, they don't, it doesn't seem like they have rocket launchers on them. So I'm wondering, they're just gonna C4 raid this instead, but now they just have to find that TC, and that TC could be very well hidden in the space.
What they're trying to do right now is they're trying to go in their main loot room and get like their boom and raid it with the boom of the defenders, you know? It seems like they don't have that much of a boom left.
Indeed, that could be a very formidable strat for this Turtles team. And they're already starting to get themselves in closer and closer, taking advantage of that, of the no team damage. Getting themselves in there really quickly.
Sure it's not gonna be another main core or Tuku board base, right? Okay, it's not.
Indeed, they're gonna have to search a little bit longer for those TCs.
It seems that Turtles might be getting raided. What is it?
And if they are getting raided, then I'm wondering if they're just gonna have to fight their way out of here.
No, it seems like OMG is pushing this base and C4ing from outside.
And the doors now are getting opened up a little bit deeper, but a couple players already being down. Turtles, they seem a little bit weak, but still, all of them standing on their feet. All of them able to fight. There's only one down, and he should be getting up really soon. Yeah, Leonardo getting those stims in. Turtles will be able to defend their raid, but they still have to find their TC.
Yeah, and it doesn't look really good for Brew right now, Team Brew, the defenders, because it seems like they really don't have any kits left where they can respawn and get them from a box.
Meanwhile, on the over on top of your screen, you see Semi has been eliminated by Morchgang. Morchgang now getting themselves really high up on that scoreboard too, into 4th place with 70 points. it's a very good jump for them since they weren't even in the top 10 a bit early on. They weren't in contention for anything, and now they're just there. Now they're just there to fight, really having to show up. But they will have to try to hope that there's enough C4 and rockets that they can steal from that base in order to really go for another raid. Raids are really what you want to be doing in this raid phase. A lot of teams already finding a lot of points early on in this.
And we can see that Purpluu is doing a good job of raiding, just being like together all the time, like one guy rocketing and two people holding angles, which is like the best tactic to do when it is a smaller team.
It is a very good tactic, but there's still a lot left for them to find. They still haven't been able to get themselves towards that TC, and I'm wondering if it's maybe gonna require them too much time or too much C4 and too much rockets in order to get themselves in there. Because you want to be quick, you want to be sufficient on those raids. You don't want to be stuck on one base for a long time, because that's when the third parties of other team might be starting to come through. Heading to a different base, we actually see Team Stevie as a team all the way on top of the scoreboard getting raided too, but we'll be heading over to this Purpluu raid, if I'm not mistaken.
And we see the top one team raiding them right now. Like if they get this raid, they're gonna be so much in front of other teams that they can just take it easy and farm a little bit more boom and focus on like raiding another base.
Exactly, this Gelazing team, they just seem so strong. As if I'm not mistaken, they've placed themselves near a lot of teams, and they've really shown that they're the dominant team here, that they're the top dogs, as they are just barking the loudest. With 125 points on the scoreboard, they're already first place, and they're looking for even more. So efficient with how they're placing DC4, and the TC has already been found, but they just don't quite know it. AAA should be destroying that any second now, and that's even more points for Gelazing on the scoreboard. Purpluu now get finished up 166. They are more than double the points away from second place, and what they're doing is absolutely insane.
And that makes them 84 more points, and that's like two total raids and 4 kills in order for team 2 to catch them up.
Yeah, that's a lot of work to do, and I see that one of the players accidentally shot the spectator here. Just unfortunate events, as that is not a real player. But he did hit a headshot immediately though, showing off why these players have such good aim, showing off. Or actually, this Russian player from Golova, showing off that he's an absolute insane builder. Holy shit, is this quick, restoring his base within a mere seconds. Look at this, it's so quick.
It seems that they are getting third-partied by Team Trigada right now.
Again, Roof Camp just living up to the name. Living up to what we said earlier, being a very annoying nuisance, just shooting a lot of rockets towards that base from on top. But he'll be seeing Elop, the team that was really contesting that hard point early on in the game, contesting for that first and second place earlier on. They now have to close themselves in closer into a raid, and Bazami is the one they are going for. They're starting to rein in those rockets, but looking behind them, we see Special. They want to third party this. They want to go in from behind and perhaps see if they can really pick up their fangs and show us something special.
If they're able to fast push them and kill like 2 of the rocketers, it should be easier to defend after that. As like we can see that they are trying to push them, but Toxica from Loop is holding them, and we have another team pushing them from behind. We have Team Special with Kolo Unkuda, but he was spotted by Mania, the Russian name.
Oh yeah, Mania. Mania is going to be shot at down to low HP, and he'll just have to try to survive on that red HP. Just a bullet or two will take him down, as he's now going to be down. And that's the rockets down on the ground, and it doesn't look good for Elop. Elop, they needed to find points to get themselves back up there. And it doesn't seem good for them, as Special will take this raid back up. And I'm hoping for them that they didn't bring all the C4 and all the rockets in, because else Special could be taking this raid in. For Bizarre, this could be a big problem, as Toxico is the only ally player left, and he will be taken down. Special taking it over, and now perhaps having to be in contention for that raid.
It seems that Team Stevie pushed. And it seems that they rocketed the peaks and are trying to like ladder to roof and destroy their turrets. But from what it looks like, they were unsuccessful, and they have only one guy, Real Pick, just alive in the base right now.
And this is a very interesting decision by the Stevia's team, deciding to go for this base. They are in second place in contention for perhaps fighting against this Galaxy team, this also powerful team that is not really letting any team get near them at this very point. But Stevia's is the only one near them, and they do go for a base that might take a lot of time to take down. It's one of those bases that has a lot of doors, and it will require a lot of C4 to take it down, and a lot of time, since there's only 3 players in each team. Stevia's just have to hope for the best of luck, and they'll be taken down, as it's this last STD player taking the raid for themselves. STD Kev finding that raid, picking up all of those kills against the Stevia's players, and he will survive to live on another day.
And right here we have Team Surebro trying to raid Team Rabu. It seems like they made a hole, and a way to shooting for, and now they're trying to get into peaks. It's more for another door base, but it seems like that they have control of the base. Of like they don't have turrets on shooting floor, and it seems that the defenders are fully naked without guns right now. Maybe what could have happened is they could have lost all their kits on attack phase, and now they don't have anything to defend with.
Yeah, indeed, and they're getting themselves in closer and closer. But again, it's one of those bases that has a lot of doors. It's going to be very hard for them to get through that. And it's going to require a lot of time for the Surebro team. They just required a lot of time on that first raid. Were able to pick it up about 3 minutes ago. They do decide to immediately go for another one. But this one that they've decided on, it might just not be the one for them, as it will take a lot of time to get through it.
And the thing with the door bases is, if you get lucky with them, you might be able to raid them in under 30 seconds. But if you're like unlucky, it's gonna take you like, it might take you the whole event to be able to raid it.
Yeah, indeed, especially in these 3v3 situations where you just don't have too many players to go for those doors. You can't just consistently take down 5 doors every couple seconds. It makes sure that it just takes a lot of time to get through these doors, and a lot of time as well for those defenders to get themselves back in there to try to defend that raid from happening.
It seems we have only one guy rocketing from the raiders, and there's another guy just holding the breach and like naked from coming back. I'm not really sure where is their third guy.
I think the third guy just got taken down a little bit ago by one of the defending players.
Yeah, as we can see, they are just trying to go through every door possible and like hope that they are gonna find it at one point.
Yeah, but that's just a lot of hope that they have to throw in on getting that TC and being lucky. And being lucky is what they haven't been so far. And being lucky is what Team OMG indeed isn't, as Tudonk is going to be able to eliminate them and put some even more points in their scoreboard. And OMG was one of those teams in the top 10 position, will now be taken down into the in 6th position. And I feel like a couple teams should probably be able to knock them down a little bit later on, if they're just able to pick up a couple more points.
And we see that Team Gigi is still holding like the advance with 74 points, which is huge deal on 3v3s. And they are mostly gonna try to like stack up on Boom and just go for a raid after a little bit. And we have 4 teams on top 5 just fighting for top 2 right now. And if Surebro takes this raid, they're gonna be a big contender for the top 1 team.
Yeah, indeed, but the problem is just for Surebro that they have so many doors to go through. It could be a matter of them getting it within 2 minutes or them getting it within half an hour. That is really their problem at this very moment. So I hope that the other teams that are out there on the scoreboard, on the leaderboard, will be going for some other raids too, and perhaps some more favorable raids, some less long taking raids. As okay, the C4 has been found, and I'm not sure if that Surebro player has spotted it. If you might just go through, and yes, indeed, Rabo is now going to be taken down. Surebro getting those points on the scoreboard, and that will propel them into 2nd place, just 50 away from Gelazink. And Gelazink, they need to start finding something pretty soon if they want to keep that first position. If they want to keep that 1st place position.
There's a big chance that Team SK is gonna get double raided by both teams, unless the other team decides to just roof camp and try to kill the raiders for their boom. And like when you are getting double raided from 2 fights on 3v3s, it is like too hard to defend it, you know? Especially if the people don't push. Because like if you try to push one team, the other team is gonna shoot you from behind.
Yeah, exactly. Having a lot of teams near each other just kind of provides yourself with some defense, as well as it provides yourself with a big target on your head from your neighbors. But of course, your neighbors could sometimes become your allies in some situations, as SK certainly have to hope that some of them are. They now find themselves in between two teams in the hills, and a lot of them are getting near that, and a lot of them are getting in closer towards that base.
And the important decision right now is what 2 targets is gonna do. Are they gonna try to double raid the base, or maybe they're gonna go for Dushevaya and try to raid their base, you know?
Indeed, and this player is already getting himself in closer. I cannot quite see the name. He's just wandering around, and it's the Sheva player. Am I saying that right? The Sheva? The Sheva player.
Most probably.
Yeah, it's a Dusheva player, and Dusheva actually is in that top 10 on 8th place with 59 points, so them getting some there on the leaderboard will indeed be huge going forward in this game. They need to get themselves up there. If they are able to do that, they might be able to contest for that 2nd place, maybe even 1st place from Gelazink, but they just have to hope for the best of luck if they really want to contest them, because Gelazink is looking on fire at this very moment.
It seems that they have been stale with the points for the past 10 minutes though. Like they got only 10 points like for 9 minutes or something. So it seems they are just gearing up to like do another raid most probably.
Yeah, indeed. And it's just a matter of time once they start going for another base. They're probably just scouting out a base they want to go for. They don't want to make the same mistake that a lot of these other teams have made. And going for, and that is just basically going for one of those bases that will require a lot of time to go through and a lot of luck if you want to find that CC early on. And if they're able to find one of those easier targets, if those sharks are able to spot blood in the water, then I'm surely gonna be thinking that they're able to eat their dinner.
And on streamers, like if you don't have many neighbors next to you, you're gonna have many options to choose from in order to like find an easy base to raid. Because like when you have like 3, 4 neighbors, like if you go for another, and they just found two boards, and Team Dusheva is gonna be on top 3, top 4, most probably with their 103 points right now.
Yeah, exactly. The Shevas propels themselves into fourth place, just getting 4 positions just off that TC alone.
And it seems that Two Tires is trying to raid Dusheva indeed.
Oh, indeed, and just as they could get some points, they now have to go back to their own base in order to in order to keep themselves alive. The Sheva now in a dangerous position. Team Two Tired getting themselves in closer and closer, and some of them already getting eliminated. That's already the first down, and the second one. The Sheva, this is not looking good for you. It's getting distracted and getting backstabbed by Two Tired.
The thing is, like, if Dusheva is able to defend this and actually kill them, they're gonna get like extra 12, maybe 17 points, which is gonna give them even bigger boost into contesting top 2.
Yeah, and contesting for that top 2 position is indeed what they want to do, but they just have to hope that that TC isn't found before. They need to hope that they can get back into this raid and really defend their own base before that TC has been found, because there's only a couple 2 tired players in there and it will only require one good push in order to get those last players down.
But it seems that they're in a bad position right now, as like there are many doors found after the honeycomb, so if they're not able to kill the guy rocketing right now, they might be in a big trouble here.
Yeah, and there's only one player left. Mario is the only one defending this from Too Tired. He needs to defend this raid, and he's been spotted out by that last player. Jack is inching his way in closer, and Jack is going to be able to find a kill. No, he is. Oh, yes, indeed, he is actually. The Sheva able to defend that raid and able to get those C4 and those rockets off that Too Tired team. As you were speaking about, they're now able to perhaps contest themselves for that second place if they can find a advantageous raid for them. Now we see over on the other side of this map, Bazima, or if is that Bazima?
Is it Team Bezmap getting raided? Yes, it is. So it seems that Team Bezmap is getting raided by Team Special here. And Team Special went for peaks, it seems like, and they're like 3-4 from inside.
Yeah, Bezmap able to defend their raid for just a little bit, but those players, they've already lurked themselves in there, and they're starting to destroy those doors now.
And we can see that their generators are kind of open right now, and if Team Special goes for them and just destroys them, they will be able to destroy the turrets, and they might have a full control of the base, unless Team Bezmap kills them before that.
Yes, indeed. Team Bezmap really having to try to get themselves back into this, as a lot of the players are starting to near it, but they're cleaning up this entire raid. There's only there's still 3 players left inside the base, as Elop is getting themselves in closer. They smell blood, and they are going to try to contest in for this raid, and hopefully for them they will be able to get those points, because they are looking bad on the score point. Earlier on they were contesting for that second place. Now they're all the way down into 8th place, and they need some points, and they need them quickly.
And this is what I meant earlier by saying that if you're getting raided by 2 teams, it is even harder to defend. Because like they defended from special, but at the same time Group was rocketing them, so they have a bigger hole in their base right now. Even though like they defended from one team. And at the same time, we see Team Special trying to join back into the raid.
Yeah, them trying to get themselves back into it, but it doesn't look too good. Oh, actually, Hollow able to pick up that kill, able to defend his base. Hollow now has to go huge if he wants to survive, and he does. On 7 HP, still is alive, but there's still so many players looming around. This army player is one of the last ones remaining on top of the base, and there's Toxico still looming on the inside. The LR player having to that has gotten himself into the core of the base.
It seems like Team Nev just defended the raid. Like they have a hole, but no one rocketing. So we're gonna go to I-17 right now, where we have Team Stevie still. They are still raiding Team FTDI.
Yeah, and what I was talking about earlier might have come into fruition. Still raiding the space, still not able to find that door, that magical door with the TC behind it. And there's still a lot of doors for them left to get. And but in the meantime, though, we do see Galasinki. They haven't I'm sorry, Galasic haven't really done too much. They haven't really gotten too many raids going for themselves, as they are still on 192 points, just not too far away from losing that first place.
It could be that they couldn't find a raid to target, or maybe they tried to raid and instantly died by being pushed by another team or something, and now they're kinda in a stalemate. And we can see that Team Stevius is trying to find the TC by destroying all the doors in peaks. And the good thing is they like destroyed the top turret. So if one guy holds roof and just keeps killing the nakeds, it might be easier for them to raid it.
Yeah, indeed. And cueing the epic music, Galasic starts to come in closer as this one player, Kaza, trying to sniff out if they could perhaps take part in this raid or perhaps take it over from Stevius. He's getting himself in closer, trying to just sniff out what is happening here, but Stevius still going for those doors, still trying to find that magical one that will give them those points that they oh so badly need.
Yeah, we can see that they're just trying to like rocket every single door, and it might take them for real like a lot of time, or maybe they're gonna get it like in the next 10 seconds. It is all based on luck right now.
Indeed, and they've already been doing this base for like 10 minutes straight. So already a lot of time wasted on just getting this one TC and getting those, if I'm not mistaken, 40 points on the scoreboard. 40 or 60 points? 40 points,
40,
indeed, yeah. Getting those 40 points, but those 40 points, it will only get themselves into second place, it won't yet put them into first place. They'll still have to find another base to raid, find another 40 points if they want to fight for that place. Is Galasic still stands strong but hasn't found anything yet. Only on 193 points, and over those last 5 minutes they've only been able to get 1 point, so it seems like they still are kind of in that regrouping phase of kind of assessing how much C4 and how many rockets they have and trying to farm those up so that they can perhaps go for another raid themselves. Looking here, we still see the best man team being contested by Elop. Elop not getting themselves into too deep yet, and Two Doink is still contesting it. Goes now deep inside of the base too.
It seems that there are two teams deep inside the base, raiding different places, which makes it even harder to defend right now. And
Yeah,
Two Doing might be close from what it seems like.
Indeed,
or maybe not.
I think it's just a matter of time for this bestman team before they get taken down. If two teams are just on there at the entire time going back to back with those C4s just pounding their way in, it's just going to be so hard to stop. There's just no way for you to get back into that if those players just keep on respawning, getting that C4, getting those rockets in there. What can you do to really defend? You just have to hope for the best of luck.
They have the base to themselves right now, and they're gonna be able to feel it properly before they come back, if they're fast enough.
Yeah, there's no one in there at this very moment. They have to try to seal it up. Bestman surviving their raid for just a little bit longer. as over near all of these bases, there hasn't been too much going on so far. Bomba, if I'm not mistaken, is raiding their space, so they want to get those points on their leaderboard. They want to get themselves a bit deeper in there. Because looking at the leaderboard, they only have 32, and they're in 19th place currently. So if they are able to take that TC, that should propel them perhaps into 10th place.
And we can see from the example right here that they built in next to hardpoint with a lot of teams next to them. They were contesting hardpoint, but now that it's raid phase, they just cannot do anything because they have too many neighbors next to them, and they are just falling behind little by little.
Exactly. Those teams that early on had a good lead might not have the best lead going on later on in the game, but of course, it's still just insane to see that some of these teams then find themselves a bit up stronger, as Bomba now is getting themselves in closer into this base. Hopefully they'll be able to find that TC.
From what it looks like, there aren't like many defenders alive right now trying to kill Bomber, so it might be free for them to take the Tuka board unless another team comes to counter them. Yeah, they have like roof turrets and everything, and we see Team A Stevie's getting another raid, and that's gonna make them on top 3 right now.
Yes, Stevie is finally getting those points from that STD team, and meanwhile we see Elop able to take down the Bestman team too. So those raids that have been going on for a long time finally come into fruition. Stevius propels themselves into third place, and now they're only 1 place away from taking that second place. Looking at the other raid, I think it was Tudoing that eliminated the other one. Oh no, it was Elop actually. It was Elop that got those points, and they are in 4th place with 40 points behind Stevius. So currently it's just a fight for this top 2, and the first place is starting to sweat as Bomba indeed has found a TC, so that team will get eliminated. Bomba getting those points on the scoreboard, and that should now put themselves in a quite comfortable position going forward.
And right now, Team Gigi number 1 is getting contested by 2 teams, which is 20 points far, and that's like what, half a raid. So if one of top 2 or top 3 gets a raid right now, they're gonna propel themselves into being top 1. And right now we see Shorebro raiding Morchgang, it seems like.
Yeah, indeed, and we can also catch up to what the number 1 team on the scoreboard has been doing. They are also fighting for this Puppy, Shorebro 2, or 2. No, I just read that wrong. It is the team of Galaxic Puppy, Morchgang, and Shorebro all fighting for this 1 raid. So 4 teams looming around trying to search for those points. 3 teams trying to find that TC, and it should surely be over for Morchgang anytime soon. It would just be a matter of time before one of these teams gets contention of the raid and then is able to take down the TC.
It seems that Team Gigi is coming to counter them. So like top 1 and top 2 are trying to get the same raid right now.
Oh yes, indeed. So it's really going to be a battle of the titans to see who can get those points just inches away from each other, just like they're just like they are on the scoreboard. Nikita and Klaus Crudo, they're right behind the wall from each other, and the peak comes out. Nikita able to take him down. Klaus Crudo falls, and that's going to be Shorebro getting themselves in a good position for this raid. I feel like all of those Galaxic players are now down, and Shorebro will take advantage. They will take this raid into their own hands.
And if like Shorebro is able to hold this raid like for longer, they might even get the top 1 spot by just PvP points. Like they only need 21 kills, which might take them around 5 minutes, unless Gigi goes for another raid.
Yeah, and we surely just saw the Clash of Titans come through, and if this is a little preview to what is going to go on later in the game, once we really start the timer, seeing getting close, it's going to be exciting for these last couple of teams. It's going to be exciting to watch these bigger teams fight it out over at the end. But sure, bro, so far is the one that really has taken it into a advantageous position, getting themselves in this raid, hopefully finding that TC, and of course getting the points of those kills. Now they're only 15 points away from taking that first place and from taking all of it into their own hands.
It seems that the base defender of Morchgang don't have any kit theft and they're just getting guns from the ground and trying to push them. And we see Gavinjik trying to get a sneaky T50 out here, but it seems like he only has a C4 and no gun, which is gonna make it harder for him unless he gets a very lucky.
Yeah, and he might actually get lucky over here trying. Actually, he will be going for those doors, hopefully. Or actually, those aren't even doors, are they? No, that's a
There
skill.
goes,
I'm just
there goes.
mistaken.
It is a new
I'm just
in the
mistaken.
item store. Yeah.
And he's going to try to be going for those doors, not even will be getting himself a weapon in his hands. Morchgang is now starting to defend too, and they have been able to at least retake their base just a little bit.
By the way, if people are wondering why he's throwing two C4 on one sheet metal door, it is because like when he throws it and he goes to hold angle, if this is behind the door, like the first C4 is gonna destroy the door, and the second one is gonna take over like the bomb explosion is gonna take the TC, and that's gonna like even if he dies, they're gonna get the points, 40 points from the raid.
Yeah, getting those 40 points on the scoreboard is what you have to be looking for. Morchgang still trying to defend their base, but sure, bro, is still deep in it, but there's only a couple, or if I'm not mistaken, Vice is the only player on this Morch side standing, or sorry, on this Shorebro side standing, as Morch side is now getting, Morchgang is now getting themselves in closer. I am getting so confused with these names.
With the Russian name for...
No, with the gang name and with the dude name or whatever it is. Morchgang is now getting themselves in closer. Vice is gonna be eliminated, and that is sure, bro. Now taken down as Morchgang. They're defending it. There's only one player left. Nikita gets in once again. Nikita, I think that's one of the players that we've seen a lot throughout these tournaments. One of those players that has been so prominent all the way through. And Nikita now has to go up against Boy Kicker. And Nikita is going to be kicked down. Boy Kicker taking the base back up. And that's going to be Morchgang defending the way from all of those teams. And hopefully they'll be able to get themselves patched up.
And right here we have a team ready or no. It seems that they defended already, and they're just waiting for the timer to finish filling their base or something. And they're trying to push team... Oh, it seems that they're rocketing from far. And Ready or No is trying to push team Chegohot, and they took over one of them. And Finwan dives to Joker from Chegohot. So it seems that what they are doing is they're just rocketing from outside and waiting for them to push.
Yeah, but Jekyll are starting to get themselves in closer and closer. There's only one player left on the ground from Ready or No. Supreme Warrior defending himself, showing that he is indeed a Supreme Warrior. Still two left to find if he wants to prove his worth. As Joker is starting to get his way in closer, perhaps throwing a nade in order to throw this player off. It would be the play, but he's still crouching. He's still looming like a snake, not making any footsteps, not making any noise as he gets his way in closer, but Supreme Warrior is able to defend it. And that's so big for Ready or Not. Getting their player, getting Ghetto Massa back in there as well. It's really what you need to be doing. It's really what Supreme Warrior is here to do for his team, taking down everyone over time. And he's not going to be able to defend his base from the attackers. Here we're seeing Stevie as they're gonna get themselves in closer and closer into this base. They've decided to go for another raid too, and this is the right decision for them, as if they can find that TC early on, if they don't have to wait for too long of a time, they should be able to get themselves back into first place, able to pick up a couple kills. They are defending from those defenders. Well, they are just getting all of that C4 in closer and closer, opening up the base from on top.
And in Fifth, they took away the generators, and the turrets don't have power right now, so they have a full control of the base. And unless Poppy gets a kit from somewhere, it might be an easy raid for them right now.
Yeah, it might be a really easy raid, but Poppy, they're still trying to fight. They still have something left to prove if they don't want to be eliminated. But these devious players, they're getting in closer. One of them just escapes down in the middle, able to get in there before making sure that his legs don't really bleed or break.
We see an interesting body right now wiggling in front of our screen.
Yeah, that's interesting to do. I mean, is that like some kind of some new form of jumping down a building, or like how do you call it? Parachuting. Yeah, bungee jumping. Indeed, it's like a new form of bungee jumping.
And we have Team Too Tired getting raided again by Dushevaya. But it seems that nothing much is happening though.
Yeah, not much is happening over towards
Team
this
Dushevaya's base were just taken away by Too Tired's rocket. So if they die right now, they won't have a respawn next to them.
Indeed, Mario knows the only player left over towards this two-tire side. Forgive me is on that side, but he should be taken down any second now on 30 HP. And all of the two-tire players falling down bit by bit. Forgive me is the last one standing, as he now has to heal himself back up before this team is able to get in there. Mario now respawning in the base. They need to find those kids and reorganize themselves before the Sheva is really able to get themselves back into that base.
Team Dusheva is just rocketing right now and trying to take cover from their roof by hiding behind furnaces. And the problem with one rocketing next to the base is it is too slow. So like they need to open at least like 2 walls in order for them to push. And like after they push, it might be like there like the damage on the rockets is like low on this event, so you can rocket from a tight spot too. And we see that Team Machina getting raided. No, Team Machina is raiding Team
Two Doink, yes indeed. And Two Doink, if I'm not mistaken, yes, they are in the 8th position on the leaderboard right now. So if Machina is able to take down this team, they find themselves one of the big contenders for this game to take them down pretty early on, or pretty decently early on into the raid phase. We're only halfway through, and that should make sure that Machina is able to take down one of those teams that they really have to go up against. Of course, I don't think that they really are a team that will be fighting for that top 2, top 3 position, but getting themselves in that top 8 is definitely something you want to do if you're Machina. If they're able to take down this Two Doink team, they most likely will be able to at least get themselves over there. But that's at least a couple of big ifs coming out for Machina. They have to find themselves back into this raid before Two Doink is really able to respawn too many times, before the resources really are depleted.
And from what it looks like, it's another yet destroy the turret from top and then just take control of the base and top down type of raid right now, which is like one of the most successful on smaller team events, where like you can just get pushed otherwise if you're outside, you know.
Yeah, indeed, getting that top-down raid going is really going to be the play. But of course, as well, Two Doink have a lot of shots to try to break this up, to try to make sure that these players aren't going to be getting too far into the raid. They have a lot of attempts before Messina is going to be will find that TC. And there's still a lot of question marks left to be answered if this team wants to take it down.
It seems they're rocketing into doors that could possibly lead to Turku board. And we see a ladder hatch there right now. Are they gonna see it? And yeah, it seems that they don't have any idea though.
Yeah, they don't have an idea about it, but finding that core is what they need to be doing here. If they want to find that, if they're able to find that early loot early on, it's going to be a huge advantage for them, because they might find those rockets, and that might be able to make sure that they can raid even deep and that they can keep on going even further and further. But there is a team contesting this. Up getting in with the helicopter, but Stefan is the only one surviving, getting his way out of there. He's now down to low HP, and Machina finding themselves away from the helicopter. Up, they want to contest this, and they aren't really successful in doing so. Now Two Doink trying to get themselves back into it too, hearing the commotion on top. 666 will be firing those shots, but 666 will be falling down back into hell. And we will be going into a break for a little bit in just a little bit, and we will be seeing all of you after that break. Hello and welcome back, everybody, to Base Invaders EU, hosted by Rustoria, and of course sponsored by Rusty Pot. We're back into our three-man's tournament, and we're back into the action. Messina still defending this, or still taking over this raid against Tudoink, as Tudoink has been able to get themselves back into this now in the meantime.
It seems like Tudoink was able to defend their base, which is good for them, as they have full control of their compound and base right now. And it
Looking
looks
at
like
the
there
map, there's
aren't
just
many raids
nothing.
going on right now.
Yeah, there's just nothing going on over on the map. Like, we took a break on the exact same time as the players took a break. Usually that like the teams just keep on going while we take the break. But apparently everyone was kind of like thinking the same while we were thinking the same. We were of course already more than 45 minutes in, so a lot of time has already passed, and these teams probably have had to PvP and just to be on their game all the way through. So I could understand if they're starting to get a little bit tired now.
And we can see that top 1 and top 2 are only 2 points apart right now, with Gigi being on with the lead with 204 points. And then we have top 3 and top 4 literally one raid away from them, which makes this like it like all of them are nervous right now, you know, like all of them are trying to take control of top 1, but there's no raid going on, so maybe
Yeah,
they all
exactly.
run out of boom or something.
Exactly. It's going to be a very exciting last half hour or last 30 minutes to witness, as all of these teams are still fighting in contention for that first position. Gelazink, as you mentioned, they haven't really done quite much. They were in contention, or they were in first place by a lot early on. They were able to get those early raids on the school, but probably 2 or 3 raids that they've done so far. But now they've lost that first place position against Surebro. Surebro finally taking it from the top dogs, from the Kings, from the Titans of Gelazik, as they will now go up 1 point from them.
And just now Team Toothwave got raided by Turtles, which was very fast because no one was raiding like 1 minute ago. I'm not really sure what happened there. Most probably they just
They most likely just found the TC really early on into them raids, or it might have been a damaged base, a base that wasn't quite able to stand too much, as LUP is now gonna be in contention for a raid 2. Special and Ready On or Ready 1 are getting in closer. One or LUP. There's no one in this base currently, and they're starting to raid. LUP might be in a little bit of danger at this very moment. Still one of those teams that we've seen a lot today. One of those teams that so far has been a treat to watch, but they might be taken down pretty soon.
Which team is that?
I think it's Special and Ready 1 that is in contention for this.
Oh, for it is Team Whoop getting raided.
Is it me, or I think the overlay might be bugged, the map.
Yes.
Yeah, the map is not showing whenever a raid is going on, so please excuse us for that. We will now be going over towards this raid where Roof Camp is fighting against Galova, finally getting themselves in closer to that base that they've been fighting over for such a long time. Roof Camp have been camping the ever-living hell out of Galova, and they've had enough of it now. Galova, they're on the last foot, and they're being taken down by a lot of teams. Tergata trying to fight into, and Federico from the side. There's a lot of teams trying to get those points off of Galova here, but Galova still standing strong and still defending their base with a couple players left alive, or actually everyone is still left standing.
It seems like there wasn't much damage done to the base at this point. We can see like only 2-3 small holes.
Yeah, just a couple holes being done so far, and I feel like Roof Camp they've probably used up all of their rockets so far on just by shooting their base from a distance. So I feel like there's not really going to be much happening over towards this raid unless a team just comes in with the C4 and just tries to take it down from the inside out.
We can see that Team Federico is trying to go on roof, but most probably they have turrets, and he's just gonna get shot at the end, so...
And Poppy actually get eliminated now. That's one of the teams that we've watched a lot so far today. They get eliminated by Surebro. And Surebro, the team that took first place earlier on, once again, get a lot more points on the scoreboard. Now 157. And they're more than 50 points away from Genazig. They're more than 50 points away from that second place position. As Surebro, they are surely about to take control over this game.
And Team Machina just opened 2 boards, it seems like, but they don't realize it. It might take them a while until they realize.
Yeah, but it just takes one of them to walk around, to roam a little bit. And yes, indeed, Don finds it too. Doink gets eliminated, and that's going to be Messina in the top 8 right now. Well done by them. And we're getting in closer and closer to just a couple bases being left, to just a couple points where fights are going to be happening, as we'll now be trying to find another raid. Still, the HUD is broken, so it's going to be a bit hard for us to find something that really has good action going on. But don't mind that.
And right here we have still Team Gova. I guess they actually like took control of their base right now, and they're just killing people trying to breach in.
Yeah, it's just this Trigada team with an M249, if I'm not mistaken, trying to get themselves into towards this base. And Trigada still, so far, isn't really going for it. And there's just a lot of teams fighting over this Golova base, and I don't really see much coming out of it at the end, to be honest. I feel like Golova is just in too solid of a point to lose it at this very moment. And a lot of these teams most likely don't have too much C4 or too many rockets left to really start fighting for. Or to really fight with.
I mean, that's what happens when you like constantly go forth and behind like with the rage, you know? Like, you waste so much boom, and like if you die, you run out of boom, and like it is just, you need to either go loot like for extra boom, but then that means that you're gonna leave the base and they're gonna be able to patch up the base before you go back.
Yeah, indeed. And it's just that then you have wasted a lot of your boom, and then you've just wasted a lot of time as well. And of course, if you don't have enough boom to get back in there, then how are you going to be able to get back in there? You just have to cancel the raid and hopefully counter raid a different team in order to pick up those rockets once again and pick up those C4 to hopefully once again start really be able to fight for another raid. But then you really have to hope for the best of luck, and if you don't get the best of luck, you're just going to be eliminated. You're just going to be taken down, or you're just going to be out of the picture.
Yes, indeed. And
looking at Messina, the team that took down Tudoink earlier on, they are now going to be fought against this orgy, trying to get themselves in here, and they've already gotten themselves quite deep into the core. There's just a couple players left standing in there though, so just a little bit before these last players will be taken down. OG now hopefully finding that TC before anything really happens, and oh, there we go, already one of the Messina players able to take down the first. There's only one left in this base. He's healing himself back up now. And Messina, they've been able to take back their own base.
If it seems like Orgi doesn't have any more kills to go back with, and that means that Machina will be able to patch up the base without any contenders for it.
And they're still far away. The base might be near them, but respawning will take a lot of time. And over here, there's still a lot of bases quite close to each other, and a lot of them still standing. So, and I'm quite wondering if something is going to happen within this last half an hour that might cost a couple of them to go down. Special, Bomber, Elab, a lot of these teams that really are fighting on top of the leaderboard are all here. Turtles even in contention too, but none of them really committing to a fight. The raid will now finally be starting onto Sherbro. Sherbro, one of the team that is in first place, ready or no, is going to be trying to take down their base. They will be going from the sides with those rockets, still not having taken down the main walls, but Sherbro isn't even here yet. They haven't even heard that they're being raided, and I'm wondering if Ready or No is going to be able to get that TC before Sherbro is able to get back there, before they've heard that the base is being raided.
From what we see, it looks like Ready or No didn't even like try to put bets, and they just went for the raid, you know. But what they're hoping right now is like for them to breach like hole very fast and just get control of the Tuco board location before like they even like realize that they're getting raided.
Yeah, indeed. And if Sherbro don't realize that they're gonna be that they're getting raided, then they surely are in a world of trouble, because Gelasic is still quite close to them, and a lot of teams are close to them as well. So we might see them lose that first place position if this keeps on going. Now a turret has spotted them out, but they are going to be able to avoid that turret for just a bit. Is that the TC? Hold up a minute. Is that it? Oh no. Okay.
Oh no, it is not.
I'm seeing ghosts here.
It is okay. It happens to the best of us. Anyway, it seems like Team Ready or No is trying to take control of the turrets from the roof. And if they're able to do it, that means like big trouble for sure, bro. Because they still don't realize that they might be getting raided.
Oh, and Too Tired is actually getting themselves in over here too with the helicopter. I'm not quite sure if they want to fight over here, but it seems like the helicopter is now gonna land too, and they will be trying to go for that third party onto this base, as Ready or No still hasn't quite found too much space. They haven't opened up the base too much yet.
And it seems like sure, bro, Nikita is on 10 kill streak. So I guess they are like raiding another base right now.
Yeah, and sure, bro. Indeed, if they do go for a different base, if they don't really defend their own, they need to make sure that they're able to take that base before their own gets destroyed, so that they're at least able to take those points in the grave with them.
And it might be possible that the plugin is bugged for the actual players too. So maybe sure, bro doesn't have any idea that they are getting raided if they don't hear the rockets.
Now we see Elop being in contention, or being contested by Special raining in the rockets, and Elop, one of the teams that we've been watching a lot so far, might be getting taken down. They are still trying. They're still trying to get themselves in closer and closer. The rockets just raining in, but not finding the TC quite yet. In Elop's base, it seems like a bunker of a base. It's gonna be very hard to get in through.
We see that Special is trying to rocket and hold at the same time, which makes it like forward, because like you need to like after every rocket just hold with AK to see if they're gonna push you, which makes it even forward to raid.
Exactly, it makes it even harder to raid. And one up, they are starting, or Elop are starting to take back that raid, and Stevie is still roaming around in that helicopter, trying to see if they can find a raid, or trying to see if they can find somewhere to lay their claws in. Over towards this side of the map, we still see Golova fighting off all of those attackers on their base, and now Orgy in the meantime, their base is now getting taken. Earlier on, they were in Messina's base, and now Orgy, they might seem to find some trouble, as Coco will be able to pick down or to get one of those kills outside of the base, and that might just incentivize Messina to start going for that OG base. He even gets the second one, and Katrin is the last one standing. If OG or if Messina see that there's a way into this, they might just take that shot. 14 coming out from the grave, just not quite able to take Coca, and Coca is going to be able to defend 3 kills on the scoreboard for him.
But the problem is that they don't have any boom on them. So right now, the only thing they are doing is getting the extra 1 point from each kill, which is a little bit bad because they are like 150 points behind. But it is most probably like they are most probably trying to have fun and PvPing right now because they know that they won't be able to contest top one.
Yeah, indeed. They don't necessarily need to contest for top one. These tournaments are, of course, for fun, and it's only, if I'm not mistaken, it's only the first place team or the first couple of teams that get any prize money. So having fun is, of course, your number one priority. It's not all about winning, but there's still a couple teams left in contention for winning, for getting some prize money, and that's Sherbro, Gallazing, and Stevius, the teams that so far really have been contesting for every single fight, but they need to be, or some of those teams need to be finding points quite soon if they really want to get themselves higher up on the scoreboard, because there's only 23 minutes left.
I wonder if Bro knows that they are getting raided at this point, or maybe they defended already. And as we can see, Machina is trying to breach into the base right now with C4.
Oh, yeah, Machina is actually a team that is in the top eight position, so they indeed could perhaps fight for a bit of a higher spot. They aren't necessarily going to be a team that will get first place or second place or third, but them getting themselves a little bit higher up on that leaderboard might just be a nice little treat, anyways, or a nice little end of the day.
They opened a breach to the roof, but like as you can guys see, there's like a turret there, so Machina won't be able to take control of roof right now, and their option is gonna be most probably to go for peaks or just try to take the turret from roof.
Trying to get that turret from the roof is indeed what they want to be doing, but there's a lot of turrets there. Or actually, there's only one turret on that roof. So if they're only able to get that one, they should already have control over it. But
And
these OG
then
players, they are still defending it quite well.
they just tried to rocket the turret, but they missed. And we have our team Orgy just holding the hole right now, so it's gonna be even harder for them to take care of the turret right now.
And let's try to see if we can find some other action going on all the way around the map. Over here in Morchgang space, we don't see much happening either. We see a little bit of contention by Doshvaya, but Doshvaya is not quite really getting themselves in there too much. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing some of these names, but it's a little bit hard. I'm trying my best.
I mean, and like people can just name their team whatever they want, so it is kind of harder for the casters. And we see one guy from Team Stevie falling down to his knock now, and his team is going to revive him right now.
In the combat, medic has to come in, Lil Pick, trying to pick his teammate back up and trying to save him from that special player that is looming in closer and closer. He's hurt the helicopter, but now the helicopter's already taken off once again. And now just a couple shots coming through, but no real damage being done on towards those players. Stevia stays alive, and they stayed looming for another raid they want to go for. But still, with 20 minutes left and more time that is running out, the less time they have to go for one of those raids.
It looks like Team Stevie is trying to find out where Surebro is in order to start raiding them. But it seems like Surebro realized that they were getting raided and they actually defended already. And they have 60 point advance from Gevinjik. And that means that in the 20 minutes, if Gevinjik doesn't get 2 raids, the only thing Surebro needs to do is just defend their base.
Indeed, and so far they've been defending the base quite well. There was one Galactic player trying to search out if he could perhaps sneak his way in there, but he already gets taken down. Surebro defending their base from all dangers. Now Stevius too, the helicopter, it's been taken down, it's already burning, and it's sure to be falling pretty soon. Surebro trying to see if they can take it down, but Stevius don't want none of that action. They get out of there with their helicopter barely alive.
At this point, it looks like sure, bro, have like 90% chance of winning the event. Like again, unless like one of the other teams get two raids one after another, which is kind of hard to impossible at this point because all the teams left standing are like all of them are like good players, you know, and like taking fast raids are gonna be kind of impossible.
Indeed, and as well, what could come into point now is the fact that not a lot of C4, not a lot of rockets are going to be left for any of these teams. And even if there are some remaining, they might just not be in the hands of those teams that are all the way on top of the score, but that are in contention for that first place position. And if it's just on those lower teams, they might just be able to go for a raid or two, but then it's not really gonna matter in the long run. It's not really gonna matter in terms of who is winning. Stevie is still trying to search if they can find a raid, maybe landing on top of this orgy base. The helicopter is low on HP, so they have to watch out with what they're doing here. And Rockets now finally coming through, and yeah, they decided on what they want to raid, and Team Orgy is what they are going for. Messina is of course looming around here too, so we'll have a three-way raid. Or a
Yeah,
three-way
they just destroyed
orgy.
the turret. Yep. So it's gonna be even easier to raid orgy right now without the turret on the roof. If Machina takes control of that situation, they might even be able to get rid of orgy right now.
Yeah, and that's what these teams want to be doing. Stevias need to be able to find this orgy team, and then they need to hope that there's a bit more C4, a bit more rockets left in their base in order for them to try to perhaps go for another raid in the future.
And we see the doped player from Stevie fragging out right now, clearing the whole roof. And we have one orgy member alive right now. Not anymore, he's gone too. So it seems like Stevios have control of the roof right now. And they might be onto something here, you know?
Yeah, they might really be onto something, but there's not much time left as we're speaking. Only 16 minutes left on that clock. The Stevias, they have to start going quickly if they really want to have a fighting chance for that first place position. Of course, what we do have to remember, they are about 100 points away from sure, bro. They shouldn't really be the team that is going for anything, but oh my god, they already find the TC. They did not have to use up a lot of rockets, and if they are quick with it, they could be going for another base. Messina's base is looming around the corner, and this might be we might be seeing a little bit of late game action coming through in these last 60 minutes.
And right now, if Stevios go for another base, and by any chance, like their base starts getting raided, and they get one TC, they might have the chance of winning the event right now. But they need to be very quick, and they need to make the decision like very fast.
Yeah, indeed, and
And
look at
just
what they're
to
doing here. Look at what they're doing here. This is very interesting. They are going in deeper into Uji's base, hopefully trying to find all of those C4s, trying to find those rockets, and I think they might have found them. They've at least been able to find some of those destroyed boxes, but they have to hope that those C4s and rockets are in, and they have to hope that there's at least some left, at least enough left to go for another raid.
And we can see that Team Bomba got eliminated by Turtles, which it seems that Turtles are on top 3 right now, but they're kind of far away from top 1. Like, the only choice Gigi and Turtles have right now is just to go for sure, bro, and hope that one of them is gonna get the TC.
Yeah, indeed, taking down Showbro would be the play right now, going forward. But these players, Showbro still is such a strong team. It's a team of just PvP chance that is going to be so hard to take down. Messina now getting their way back into it, and it seems like Stevies have lost all of their rockets, all of their C4 going forward, and I think that might just be it for that team going forward. They need to hope that there's at least something left if they want to go, if they still want to contest for that first place position.
And by the way, for the people that never played this event, like the public chat in-game is disabled, so there's no way for other teams to give the info on where Surebro is or stuff like that. So if they wanna find out where they live, they will just need to like roam the whole map with Mini, and keep killing people around their bases. But like no one gave time. We are already at like 14 minutes, so it's gonna be kind of hard for Team Turtles to get control of the game right now.
Yeah, indeed. If we do see Team 2 Tide in the meantime starting to go for another raid, we're gonna see a lot of raids probably starting to come through within these last 13 minutes, and that is just about enough time that some teams or that most teams need just to go for one raid and maybe even snowball that into another one. 2 Tide having to hope that they can find that TC early on, and then they should be able to snowball that into a leaderboard position.
Yes, indeed. And we see that 2 Tart is raiding right now without any defense from the base owners. They might be trying just to go top down.
Base owners have waked up out of their beds. Jack is already getting in there, but he is already down. The Shiva has awoken, and they are aware of this raid going on top of them. Too tired now. They are aware that the Shiva is here too, and they are fighting for it already. One of them going down, and that's not good for Too Tired, but at least he doesn't go down fully. He's going to be able to get revived, but Jack all the way on the flank. Look at that. He is outside of there, but he doesn't have a kit on him, so he's not going to be able to fight for this.
So right now, all the work is on the Dusheva guy named Rabochi Instrument, which he's 60 HP. We don't know if he has a gun, and he opened a door right now, and he's trying to get a peek on one of Too Tart, and...
Oh, indeed, he gets one, but he gets eliminated immediately.
And Surebro just got another raid. They just raided Morchgang, and that makes them 90 points ahead of everyone right now at top 1.
Yeah, that must have submitted their win for today. I think Surebro might have been able to take it for the day. 323 points. That's quite a lot for a 3v3 event. Maybe they might even be able to surpass that 350 point gap, but I don't even think they need to. Stevius is so far away. Turtles is so far away from even coming in near them. Surebro should have been able to do it.
Yeah, I mean the only choice for another team to win is just to hope that Surebro gets eliminated right now, or be the one raiding them.
Yeah, indeed. But I don't even think if you're Surebro that you're gonna be going out of your base by now. I feel like you're just gonna be standing in their base, defending it from every single team that tries to get in there, from every single rat that tries to get in your walls. And then it should just be a guaranteed win from that point on.
And because of the fact that they got many raids, they most probably have many kids in base, and that means that they can just push everyone that's raiding them. Even if they die 2-3 times, it doesn't matter because they're gonna have more kids in base. And by pushing like that, they're gonna fold the raid, and we have only 9 minutes. And that means that most likely Surebro is gonna win, unless we have a twist of the events right now.
Exactly. Unless fate doesn't turn in their way, we're not gonna see them win. But I think that it should just be over. The Shevin are still trying to defend their base, and they are just being taken down little bit by bit. Now Jack finding two, but not quite able to take it. As Mario still will defend that base, but that's both of his teammates down. And he's going to be the last one standing, the last one trying to breach into Bowser's castle in order to get those points.
And while Too Tired Mario is holding the roof, his teammates are back, but he's only naked with AK. But he kills Jack. So they have a chance of taking this over again. But from what it seems like, Victim is down too, so... And we have the same people at the same bases again here. Just trying to raid each other, but it seems like it is a full stalemate over here.
Yeah, it's kind of just a stalemate. These teams have been fighting each other, raiding each other the entire time, and the entire time through they haven't been able to quite get into that TSC or really do too much against each other. So I feel like those teams aren't really going to be doing much in the closing minutes. Maybe they will just try to go all in at the end, but I don't think we're going to be seeing that come through just quite yet. But in the meantime, we do have Ready or No's base to look out for. Ready or No, one of those teams that is not quite on the scoreboard, so not on the leaderboard right now, and it's a team that has a lot of bases all the way around them, a lot of teams contesting for those points, and there's already people deep inside as Elop seems to be C4ing from the inside out.
And we have Gigi and Turtle trying to get this raid, which is like 2 of the top 4 teams. And that means that like the only guy that can contest right now is like Stevius. But the problem is that they lost all their rockets on roof of the base. So it isn't looking good for anyone other than Surebro right now.
Yeah, it's looking very good for sure, bro. But I think these last two couple teams, Turtle and Gelazing, are gonna want to try to contest for these last couple points in order to perhaps propel them into a second or a third place. That would be at least be nice ending off the day with a decent position on the scoreboard. But we'll have to see who comes out on top, as Turtle is inching their way in closer and closer, but they're being spotted out.
Yeah, we feel like Team Lupo trying to keep getting back in the bridge and raid. But it seems like both teams don't have many rocket thefts, so they're just pushing with C4 and hoping to get that lucky, the 4 stack on a wall and get the toolkit board.
Indeed, they just have to hope that they can find a free TC somehow. And Ready or No just still defending the base quite well, not really letting any intruders in.
Dushevaya.
I am so
It seems
sorry,
that
Chad. I am so sorry to this
it's
team.
okay. It's a different name. It feels like Dushevaya got raided by 2 Tired, which was the base that they took control of roof like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, and Dushevaya, they were in top 5 earlier on, and they will now be eliminated. Elop will take that any day. They will take that position now, finding themselves in 5th. But they should not be able to really get themselves back up higher. If they really want to do that, they need to find a raid, or they need to find a TC within the next 6 minutes.
And we can see that Surebro is just taking control of the event and they're just on their roof, like so they don't get raided, you know. And they have one guy just pushing around, 2 guys pushing around right now, trying to take those extra points, and just like they're just like trying to throw like everyone around before they push to the base.
Exactly, they are PvPing near towards their base, and they're kind of just having a bit of fun toward the end. I mean, it's kind of already over for them. They should be able to win this event. For them, it's now just about making sure that they win the event and making sure that they have some more fun, because they could just go out in PvP and show that they are just the dominant force on in the server.
And we can see that they're still not overextending, you know, with the pushes, because like even if they're like 5 minutes left, there's still a big chance of them getting raided instantly if 2-3 teams pull out of nowhere.
Exactly. If they see just one little hole in the plan, they might just take advantage of it. Meanwhile, we still see a bit of a fight going on. Surebro taking down those players.
And that was very unlucky for Team Stevish and Tutar, because when they were going to raid Surebro, they met each other and they just lost like both rockets now because they had to fight each other before going for Surebro.
Yeah, exactly. Surebro taking down all of those defenders, making sure that they aren't going to be raided, making sure that they can win out this last raid phase. There's only 4 minutes left, and we're going to see bases starting to crumble pretty soon now, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like we'll at least see a team or 2 go down here towards the end, and we're just going to have to hope and wait to see what teams it is that are going to be crumbling. Map is starting to sound active again here in the last couple minutes. It's been a bit quiet, but we're hearing C4 all around the map at this very moment.
It seems like the only team trying to contest right now is Gigi, but like we said again, there's like a very slim chance of them doing anything at this point.
Yeah, indeed. And of course, they might just not even have the C4 and the rockets to really contest for that raid. Right, we do see Special trying to pick up some of those last points. Special, the team in 13th place, one of the bottom teams on the scoreboard. They want to get a couple points before the game end, maybe find the TC just towards the end, and then make sure that they indeed can call it a good day, that they can make sure to get themselves just a tiny bit higher on top of that leaderboard.
It looks like they destroyed like most of the doors in the base right now, but they were unlucky with the TC yet, so I mean they do have 2 more minutes of raid. Maybe they are gonna find it, you know? You never know. And that's gonna make them maybe in top 9, if they're not on top 8 right now.
Yeah, let's see. They have 84 points, so that would give them 124, and that
they
would
would
give
be
them
top
9th
8.
place.
Yeah.
Or actually top 8, yeah. They would go over 2 tied, and we would be seeing them in the top right, in that top 10th position.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like the lower teams, they're just trying to have fun and just get the satisfaction of getting like another red on a team, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I would be doing as well. Just have some fun towards the end, mess around a little bit, go for some PvP, go for some TCs, and maybe try to see if you can get yourself a bit higher on the scoreboard. You never know. You are in contention for that top 1 position anyway, so why not just go all out with all of your weaponry and all of your C4 and rockets?
It seems like we've been here doing vanilla raids with 1 rocket and expo ammo. It seems like he's running low on the boom fight.
Yeah, starting to run low as we near the end. Only 1 minute 40 left on the clock, and it's surely Showbro have taken it.
Yet another door.
Just another one.
The big question, is it gonna be another door or is it this one? Can we see a garage door there? Which might be possible 2 keyboard or a jump up.
And another door.
The question right now is, does he have enough boom and the time to do 3 rockets there? And it seems like he doesn't.
Yeah, he does not indeed have the time. 50 seconds left, and I think that's it for the day. Showbro taking the win. Stevius should be able to keep the 2nd place, but still looking at the top right, those last couple teams fighting for those last couple scraps, fighting for those last couple points. We're gonna have to see if Gelizik might be able to take up Turtle's spot in that 3rd place. Turtles getting a couple kills on the score, but now 6 points away and 9 points away from 2nd place of Stevius. 20 seconds left. I don't think any of these teams will be able to do much more. Stevie is indeed taking 2nd place with 240 points. Turtles 3rd place with 240, and Gelizik, the team that we saw so much in the early game, dominating for about 30 minutes or 45 minutes or so, they've now been taken down into 4th place across the scoreboard. And looking at this team of Showbro, looking at their kills, we see Nikita with 83 kills coming through, Vice with 45, and I'm sorry, I can't quite remember the name.
Yeah, Devochka.
Devochka. Okay, Devochka with 22, and everyone basically having half the kills from each other. Quite an interesting statistic to see. And 4th race completed as well. And there we see what Showbro had been doing so good at today. Been raiding and been getting those kills all across the scoreboard the entire day through.
And most of the teams have like one builder that just focus on filling, and most of the time he's like the guy with the lowest kills, you know. So it's pretty normal for some people to not have many kills as much as others.
Yeah, indeed. As we're looking at these other teams, we see Stevie's in the second place. They did not have the Nikita on their team. They did not have that outlier, that player that was just able to carry them. Both of those top two players with about 45, 48 kills. And the one player that wasn't quite getting that many kills, the player that that you probably mentioned, the one that is kind of standing back more as a builder, only got 16 kills, and you kind of see that trend in some of these teams. But of course, you do want to see that trend of the solo carries from time to time. The players that will really take the teams on their back and then just carry them through a tournament like this. As well for the third place, Turtles just as well, looking quite even across the scoreboard. Just those last two players almost having the same amount of kills, and Deandra kind of sticking out. 2 raids completed as well, and I feel like I feel like Turtles just weren't quite able to do enough to secure themselves that second place. They weren't able to get those kills. If those bottom 2 players would have just been able to stick up a little bit more, then they might have been able to get that second place of Stevia's. But unfortunately for them, they weren't quite able to do that.
And this is the team that was holding the top one place for the whole attack period and like 30 more minutes after that. But they I guess they kind of like choked after that, and they just couldn't get like enough rage, you know. They still have 2 rage, which is huge, but I guess after that they just ran out of boom, and they just like fell down.
Exactly, and we're seeing here that they only have 2 raids completed. They have good kills all across the scoreboard, but they eventually just kind of started hitting that choke point, started hitting that wall, and that kind of just cost them the game. They most likely didn't have enough boom, and they did not have enough raids completed in order to fight for that first place, in order to fight for the win for the day, and that's just about cost them the 4th place. At least they get a top 5. But still, 4th place is not what you're gonna have to be happy with if you get a sick here.
Yeah. And this is yet another team that was like holding top one in the attack period. If hmm?
And if they were holding the Elab was the team that was holding the hard point across the entire time. But as you mentioned, a team that is holding the hard point, they have a lot of teams all the way surrounding them, and those teams, it's going to be very annoying having to defend against them or having to really find those raids. And you see a lot of kills coming through on this Elab team, but just not enough raids completed. Only 1 completed and 0 defended. That is kind of what cost them the game. Them not stepping up enough and getting active around the map. But that will be sure, bro, for the day taking the win. My name is TW. I will have been joined here by my co-host Purpluu. It's been an amazing day. Hopefully it's been an amazing time for all of you to watch, and we'll see you guys in the next stream.
I hope you really enjoyed the stream too. And yeah, see you guys on the NA one.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken,